what it was like, I talk about a little bit the day-to-day. And at some point, Shane and I moved from living in Hollywood to living on Skid Row because it just put us in closer proximity to where the drugs were, because you would buy heroin and cocaine off the street. And what that looked like is like 7th and Main. There was a parking lot. And we would go there, we would all be waiting, all of us, all super shady. Like, all of us, we'd wait for Carlos to get there. Carlos was our guy. And he'd come, the big chubby cheeks. And what they did is they would like carve out kind of the insides of their mouth so they could have more room. And they would keep the drugs in their cheeks. Heroin on one side and little tiny water balloons. Like little tiny balloons, and cocaine on the other. Cocaine was usually, I think, in like a white balloon or a yellow balloon, and the heroin was in like the red and blue balloons. And you'd say, I want 2 of this and 1 of this, or 4 of this and 5 of this, whatever it was, and he would spit them out into his hand, and you would take them and put them into your cheeks. Because that way, if the police came or anything was raided at any time, you could just swallow the drugs. And you'd be clear, because you wouldn't have any drugs on you. And so we'd wait in the parking lot, all of us, like jittery. God, where are they? Oh God, looking tweaked out, like sick, sweating, stomach aching. Because when you know the heroin's coming, it's almost like you go into withdrawal. So your stomach is aching. Your legs, you're like you like are ready to throw up type of thing. And Carlos would come. And we would all be like, Carlos, here's our money. And we'd put them in our mouths. And so we had moved to Skid Row, and we were living on Skid Row at the time, where I lived for like a year. This is before Skid Row had gentrified at all. And we would do that. And then we'd have to go get some crack somewhere, smoke crack all night. And I would shoot cocaine all night long, and I'd follow it up with some heroin, and I'd pass out. And I'd wake up in the morning sick, already in withdrawal symptoms, and I'd do more heroin. I'd do more. And then I'd start my day. And what that day looked like is it looked like a day of doing anything and everything we could to make money. We would steal, we would turn stuff. I had 3 fake IDs. Had to make amends for that later. And this was the life we lived. Every single day, over and over. I'd pick receipts off the ground and steal the stuff that was on the receipt and then return it every day, over and over.